Right then, hello. Now, some of you may know, some of you may not know. This is a game on Roblox. Yes, I know it's for kids, but, you know. Basically, called Canterbury District Bus Simulator. It's based in Canterbury in Kent, which is in this country. But something has been going on for a long time, and I just need to make a video about it. I need to. So let's get into it. Now, if you haven't heard of the game, go and play it. It's Roblox's most well-known and played bus game. So you really need to, don't you? Yeah, I know. Okay, so Appleton. Yes, Appleton. That's really Appleton is basically, it was planned as an April Fool's last year, but I think it might be added, and lots of other people do. So, will it be added? Who knows? But let's have a look at some of the sneak peeks that they've given us, and why I think it will be added in the next update, which will probably be version 4.2. So yes, let's get into it. Right, let's have a look at the first sneak peek on the wiki fandom page, or whatever it's called. So, it is basically a roundabout with some traffic lights. Now, we already know what this is going to look like, because this has literally been replicated at nearly every roundabout in the game. But we know which roundabout this will probably be. There's two. There's the first one, which is just off the motorway, and there's the second one, which has a road going straight through the middle. But let's have a look at the second sneak peek, as there's quite a lot. So, what is Appleton actually going to be like? So the second sneak peek is basically a bus stop, just any old bus stop, isn't it? Well, no, it's not. Basically, this is the bus stop outside the Asda store, or the Adza, as they call it in the bus game. Now, there's quite a lot saying that Appleton used to be in older games, and then they deleted it and they want to bring back a newer version. Now, I've tried to have a look in loads of them, version 3, version 4, and the games are so hard to drive a bus, and it's so big that I couldn't even be bothered, so who knows? But it does look like it was originally in there, and then they're actually trying to bring it back a bit better, so yeah. But basically it's just a bus stop outside a supermarket. What's that got to do? Well, these could be the bus stops for the Appleton retail park. As, you know, driving a bendy bus through a squiggly retail park. We already know what that's Next, we move on to one of my favourites. This isn't my favourite sneak peek, but one of them. We now move on to the Appleton railway station. Now, I've got to be honest, it looks a bit odd, as it doesn't have the British rail arrows that you usually get at a train station. But it looks very modern. It looks like a station that I would probably want to build for Fredton or whatever. And there are railway tracks on top of the building, which maybe means that there'll be a viaduct or something. We'll get onto that later, as there is a sneak peek for that. But if you look at the bottom of the picture, there looks to be some bus bays. So, basically, also, whilst we're talking about transportation, more bus routes could be coming to the bus game, which is good, as well as some new buses. Some new routes would be nice as well, as I'm kind of running out of routes to drive, and I got all the buses that I like, because I got the first livery, so that could be quite good, as I know that some routes that are in the game are actually coming back with the new Appleton. So there could be a route from Canterbury to Appleton train station, or there could be a route to Appleton town, and I'll get on to some more of the routes later. But as for now, let's talk about trains. I know this isn't Stepford County Railway video, but you've always got to include trains somehow, even in lift tours. But basically, could there also be a new station in Canterbury? Because let's face it, the real Canterbury has 2 or 3 stations, I can't remember. But I know there's 2. So could there be 2 stations coming to the Canterbury in this game, which isn't exactly the same, I can guarantee. But Appleton is also getting its own station. And from another video that I watched, it says that the trains will be like SCR, but they won't, because they will be AI. You mean AI, Fred? Basically, although the trains will have a cab and that, so that you don't have to wait for some ludicrous driver to come along. We'll just wait 2 seconds and you'll have a train come up, hopefully. So that'll be quite good. All your passengers will go on your bus, they'll get off, hop on the train, won't they? Which will be very useful. But, yeah. So let's have a look at the next... So we won't actually have a look at the next sneak peek, because it's just a bunch of trees. It's just a side view of the train station. So let's move on. So do you remember when I said something about a viaduct? Well, one of the sneak peeks is the classic British railway bridge. Just a typical rundown railway bridge you'll find pretty much anywhere. Village, town, countryside, city, you name it. Even on the seaside you get these horrible things. I don't think they're horrible, but, you know, lots of people do. So, basically, there will be lots of roads. We can guarantee that. As, well, there's a road going underneath the bridge. On saying that's a dual carriageway, so we know there'll be big roads, don't we, kids? Yes, we do. Move on to the best, probably the best sneak peek in this entire video, which is Appleton Village. I just love this sneak peek because it shows how much detail the producers are putting in to this game now. But basically, we can see that there might be a little sort of shopping centre, hey? Let's get some lifts in the game as well. Basically, I think it'll be a bit like Clark's Village. If you don't know what that is, don't go and check it out. It's absolutely bad. And the last clip certainly suited Clark's Village. But anyway, Appleton Village will probably be a bit like it. Hopefully have a bit more of a bus station in Clark's Village, because you have to stop on the high street, the buses do, for Clark's Village. But anyway, it'll be, you know what it'll be like. Just search it up on Google. But basically, we can see that as well as this, in the picture there'll be lots of small little twisty roads, like a Victorian town or village, like Cheddar or Axbridge. Just look at some of their skinny roads. Basically, the only pants thing in this clip is the right street deck that's in it. Come on, you gotta get rid of them. I hate right street decks. Whether it's in a game or in real life, they are just... So the next sneak peek is rather boring, really. It's just a load of traffic lights and a typical junction. Like, there are millions of these in the UK. How can you not see one? But basically, it's just your typical dual carriageway junction, really, isn't it? So moving on to the next interesting one. The next interesting one is actually quite interesting, would you believe it? Basically, you've got a cycleway to your left, then you've got the road with actually probably one of the most rarest buses. I'm pretty much the only regular person that drives it. I don't know if there are other people in the other servers, as there are other servers in the game, because, well, there's an overload, wouldn't it? But in the server that I'm always in, there will always be an eggshell driving another bendy bus, but very rarely do you get somebody else driving a Scania Omni City bendy version. So, yeah, that's quite nice to see that they've put that in that picture. What's even more interesting, it looks like the seaside might come back to Appleton. Blah, 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 blah. Actually, on editing this, it looks like a retail park. So let's get back to the video. Blah, blah, blah. And then you got the little island of Appleton. It's not really an island, is it? It's just, Canterbury seafront is just a river, isn't it? But, you know. So basically, the river could curve round into Appleton. There could be the seaside, a bit like Minehead, but hopefully a bit better, as Minehead is pants. Not as pants as Burnham, let's agree on that. Basically, you know, even if the seaside don't come, it's going to be good. Appleton looks very posh, although some of it just looks like your typical town, like Taunton or Bridgewater. But let's face it, we've been waiting way too long. We haven't. Because just looking at some more of these, it looks like they're building a whole new town. It's just amazing how big this Appleton's going to be. Like, you think Canterbury's big in the game? Just look at how big Appleton's going to be. So moving on to the next two sneak peeks. One is just basically a bit boring, just a car park with a building, which may be a shopping centre or like a couple of little small shops, maybe an American sort of like arcade or parade where like some shops are. But the next clip is also really boring as well. So moving on. I think I take that back because the next clip is basically your typical British housing estate. There's one in every town, one in Taunton, and there's one here in Bridgewater, my local town. So I know Bridgewater's a dump. I know Taunton's pretty much a dump now. But every town has them. But there's a little sand pit. Now, children just don't have any fun these days. Like, I was born in 2010, and fun in about 2014, 2015 wasn't fun. Let alone nowadays. It's going to be very lengthy. So moving on to the last couple of clips and theories of mine. So basically, the next clip is just your typical high street with first Bath City, or first Canterbury City in this case, Optes, Solo, SR, so, yeah. But let's have a look at the next last. Next few clips must have been very hard. It's just a row of houses, it looks easy to make. But I bet you they put more work than what you think into them. But it'd be quite cool to drive a bus down them, especially if you get some noob crashing it. Because then, you know, just be destruction in the game. But let's see some other things that will come in this update, as I can almost guarantee that it won't just be Appleton. Away from Appleton, in the next update, we could get some more new buses, as a lot of people have asked for some more stagecoach. I've been going to some stagecoach places recently, just like Barnstaple, it's tipping it down there, and Cheltenham, where it was lovely and bloody sunny. It was gorgeous. But anyway, we had stagecoach at both of those places, and as much as I love First, I just think they need a corporate identity. Like, I know you've got buses of Somerset and you've got their different brands, but I think they should keep the First kind of colours everywhere, just so people know the bus is First. It's like Stagecoach. I know they've got two liveries, but you know by the colours that it's Stagecoach. And you've got the Stagecoach badge on the side, like even First, you might have it in tiny little print, and that's it. But basically, let's have a look at some more routes that we... So thanks for watching this video. I know I said we would talk about some more routes, but basically I've just gone and pretty much lost it. I don't know where all the route information has gone, but I'll leave you with this picture of the map. I might come back with you a bit later on in the video with some more information, but who knows? All I know is that I need to start editing this before Grandad comes and takes the office. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for so many new subscribers. Sorry that there's been so many lift tours, as lift isn't even in my title name. But there's also been lots of trains and buses. So there we go. Right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.